Welcome back to another Kinesio Outdoors YouTube video. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the UltraView thumb button. And something that I'll note is UltraView is a super cool company. And the reason I think they're really cool is they copy Apple. I'm a big Apple fan. So what I'll do first is I'll start with just opening the box here. This is super similar to like iPhone boxing. So you've got it open, there's a magnetic clip there. You open the box, you've got your sticker. And then you've got this nice cutout for your thumb button release. This is the aluminum release. They also have a steel release that's a bit heavier for somebody that likes something a little heavier. I went with the aluminum just because it's cheaper. That's the only reason I went with it. I actually have the steel hinge too, and I prefer the weight of it. It feels better in my hand. However, the ergonomics feel great. It's just that the weight is a little bit lighter with the aluminum. That's what I noticed. So let's dive into what I like about this release and what I dislike about this release. So there's a lot of things to really like about this release. It feels phenomenal in my hand. My hand, I think it's like 10.5 inches from the tip of my thumb to my pinky. So I don't have the biggest hands, and I've got pretty skinny fingers, you can see. So this medium fits really nicely with my fingers there. I really like a 3-finger release. I find with a 4, I'm gonna be more likely to torque the release. So I like to have that finger off. I don't like the 2 as much. It's just a little bit harder on my hands. I don't have the world's strongest hands. Now, aside from this being a really great feeling in the hand, it's incredibly smooth, and also it's very quiet. And if you look at some of the videos that Chris B and them have done on making the release, there's a lot of rubber gaskets within this to help it be quieter. So that is a pretty quiet release compared to some of the other thumb button releases that I've used. Now, some things that I really like about it: it's super easy to recock it, and it's very easy to adjust the travel and the amount of force required to set this release off. Let's get it to focus. There we go. So they have it etched on there which way you can adjust, which screw adjusts for travel, which screw adjusts for the force, so the force to cause that to fire, and then there's a plus and minus for increasing or decreasing either of those. Super easy to do. Again, it looks really great. And this is a really smooth, consistent button. When I shoot this release, I have no ability to like anticipate it if I'm doing my job. So if I get this release on here, get this thumb on here, and it's just nice and smooth and really, really simple. I really enjoy that about it. The thumb button the button that I have on it has decent knurling. They have one that I would like to try, I just haven't got my hands on it yet, and that's that kind of spirally looking one. My concern with that is if the button part gets too heavy, then that could kind of mess with the weight of the release of my hand. Not too worried about it, but I do like really aggressive knurling, and this is decently aggressive. Now, aside from being easy to adjust, that leads me into this mechanism here, which is I am a huge fan of being able to clip my release on to the string. Now, the reason I like doing that is I often hunt from a tree stand or from a ground blind. So I like to be able to have my release set to fire and then slip it onto the D-loop, and now it's on, it's not going anywhere. Now, something that I also like about this is if you look, you can actually twist this release and just pull it off of your D-loop. That's gonna be a little quieter than using that thumb button. So I'll do it again for noise versus do that one again for noise. So it's a little quieter and it's a little bit smaller of a movement. Plus, if I just kind of slide it off of this little hook here, it's easier for me to just put it back on than if I fire it and then I need to recock it and then put it back on. Just an extra step that I can save just by flipping it off and flipping it off. Flipping it off and flipping it back on. So, huge fan of this, and I really like that this perfectly mirrors the hinge. It fits great, and my point of impact for these is the exact same. I tested it out to 60 yards. It did really, really, really well. Something that I dislike about this release is how long this neck is. I lost 1/4 inch of draw length. I had to move my peep sight. It's not the end of the world, but it's just much different than the releases that I'm used to using. I usually like a shorter release. It increases my draw length about 1/4 of an inch, so it puts me at 20 3/4 versus 20 1/2. Just a minor thing, but it's something that I've just become accustomed to, that string angle, that 28 3/4. So for me, it's really consistent. Overall, I highly recommend this release. It is a bit pricey, especially that steel one, but it's a well-made release, and I've used this for hundreds and hundreds of shots. It's worked really well. I haven't noticed any like creep in it, or it seems like it's kind of wearing out. So overall, I like this release. I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend you get these two in tandem, because you can practice with this, become efficient, but as soon as you get that target panic, if you switch back to this hinge, you're gonna be more likely to not get target panic if you're constantly kind of switching back between both. So that's my 2 thoughts on it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I wanna thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.